during camp to make sure you know what to do in these type of situations.
Already. All right. Are we all ready? And the home season is underway for the Utes. That's into the end zone for a touchback. It'll come out to the 25. So right out of the gate, we get to see Devin Dampier, and we can't get enough of what he did against UCLA.
Smooth on the outside, smooth pass, gets it to a defensive lineman there. Right here in Burton, a defensive lineman. And look at his feet. He can run, he can do a lot of things, dual threat quarterback, but he's very comfortable in what he's seeing in this offense now.
Well, Smith Snowden is one of the two-way players playing offense and defense. He goes in motion. He's starting the game on offense, and he's going to get the ball for the first play of the game, just like he did at UCLA. It was a pass in the UCLA game last week. This time it's a handoff. And a gain of about 6 for Snowden to start the game.
Yeah, good old-fashioned football up front. Double team front side, pull the backside guard. We call that power. Give it to one of your speedsters.
In motion goes Hunter Andrews. Dampier looking to throw, hit as he throws. And it's incomplete. The heat came from that right side of the defense for Cal Poly.
This Mustang defense wants you to know we're here. We can generate a little pressure from the outside. They send a blitz, able to make a play.
Troy Bean was the one, number 3, to come off the edge and make contact. That's enough for a first down as Hunter Andrews makes the catch.
Move the sticks, but I tell you what, this Mustang defense, they understand that they have to do something to make sure to generate pressure. This is one of the best offensive line in college football, so you're going to have to send people from other places to make stuff happen.
Utes like the tempo. It's swung out into the flat far side, brought up field by Snowden. And Smith advances it about 3-4 yards, just shy of the 40-yard line.
There they are running the RPO on the outside. And I really think, that's what they're going to do to try to get them off balance on the defensive side of the ball.
This time they motion Snowden, hand him the football going left this time, and he bounces off a couple of tacklers. And we'll have another Utes first down, just shy of midfield, where he's met by number 44, Mickey D'Amato, one of the fine linebackers for the Mustangs, but a pick up at 12.
Yeah, jet sweep. He comes around, gives him the ball, and he has extra blockers on the outside. And you look, that's Barton out there with the lead block. That's their starting middle linebacker out there blocking on the outside.
Rashawn Parker comes in the running back position. You're going to throw it to him out in the flat. He's all alone down the sideline. Rashawn Parker is gone. 52-yard catch and run, and they forgot all about Parker out of the backfield. And just like that, the Utes are on the board. Corey Rogers, a running back, and Ryan Davis, a receiver, all join back. That skips, and Kenny Olson picks it up inside the 10, across the 20, gets knocked down just shy of the 25-yard line.
I don't know if that was by design or make them go ahead and at least try to return it. But I want to see what this Cal Poly offense does. They have a pretty good quarterback that they can go to.
Yeah, that's Ty Diefenbach. He was at Pitt for a couple of years, but didn't play. So when he took a snap for them against San Diego last week, it was the first time he'd played since high school.
Well, he didn't look like against San Diego, not at all.
Yeah, look at those numbers against USD, the Toreros for Ty Diefenbach. Diefenbach motions out the running back. Washington throws complete. First pass, Jordan Garrison. And that's going to be enough for a first down, gain of about 10. And here comes Cal Poly. And
that's a good job. That's a good job by them. Running a little spacing play. Get guys in position to get the ball. Make sure he's comfortable in this offense. Just give him a little shot early. And plus, going empty like that makes that defense think a little bit.
Go empty here on first down from their own 34-yard line. Diefenbach, quick strike out into the flat. That is Keon Salehi. Well defended that time. Jackson Binney and that Utah defense only picks up a yard or so.
Try to run a little quick swing. Once again, get the ball out to his weapons. But I tell you what, he was right there to make the play. stiff defense, was able to evade the blocker and make the tackle.
Cal Poly coming off a one-sided win of their own at University of San Diego. They won 41-17 last Saturday in Southern California. Handoff here. Here's Washington running off right side. Gets a nice block from the tight end Nick Sani. Lander Barton comes up to make the hit. So a gain of a couple. And there's the head coach of the Mustangs. That's Paul Wolf in his third season. A football guy, played at Washington State, had some time coaching there as well. Three-time Big Sky Coach of the Year at Eastern Washington.
I love their conversation with him yesterday, day before yesterday.
3rd and 6 for the Mustangs. Diefenbach being pressured, rolls out, and he's brought down back at the 34. Cash Dillon, defensive end, showing his speed, caught up with the QB.
And that's a great pass rush move up the front. Daley Henry is able to generate pressure, beat the tackle, and I think that's going to be big for this Utah Utes defense. They can generate pressure up front by just, rushing their guys up front without sending pressure. Gives you a lot from the back end in which you don't have to worry about. You don't have to blitz when you have guys up front that can create pressure on their own.
Australian Jesse Ehrlich on to punt. Rayshon Glover back near the 25-yard line of the Utes. Left-footed punter gets it high, end over end punt, lands inside the 20s. Going to take a little bit of a Utes bounce back towards the 15. And Ehrlich in from Melbourne, Australia, with a 50. And a flag at the snap. A couple of flags come flying out. You had tight end freshman J.J. Buchanan in motion. Might have been some early movement there.
As we get back to
ball start. Offense, number 73, 5-yard penalty, first down.
That was on the left guard, Tanoa Fogiai. Kyle Whittingham, by the way, was born in San Luis Obispo, California, which is where Cal Poly is located.
Wow.
We'll have more on that story. A lot more to that story we'll get to as we move through the day, but we'll plant that little seed for you.
6 degrees of separation.
Indeed.
I think this Mustang defense saying that we can step up. We can hold our own against FBS schools. Getting a little penetration up front, stopping the run.
It takes it to 2nd and 17 after that loss. Dampier back near his own goal line. Lots of time, getting great protection. Now going to roll out and run it. 20, 25. He's got a first down across the 25. Steps out there. And when the play, but there is a flag in the backfield. It looks to be in the vicinity of holding.
My 12-year NFL career, I never did that as an offensive lineman.
I'm sure you didn't.
Holding. Offense, number 71. Penalties halfway to the goal, second down.
That's on the left tackle Caleb Lomu.
That's a fantastic job by the defense, being able to hold, cover the guys. But, 71, he's blocking. I mean, this is a guy that, potentially could play on Sunday. But then, it's hard when you have a guy back there who runs a little bit.
Wipes away. Well, what about a first down run? But now close to a first down catch, but a little shy across the 20. Tobias Merriweather, who's a player that head coach Kyle Whittingham said, we got to get him more involved here in game 2. Only had 1 catch for 36 yards in the win over UCLA.
He's got great size, runs pretty good routes. And you see there, he's not afraid to catch it in the middle of the field. This is what I mean by, them understanding we got to get the ball out to your weapons.
Merriweather, who's a transfer from Cal. The rain getting a little harder now. It's 3rd down and 4. The rain picking up in intensity for sure. Dampier looking left, throws left. Incomplete. That was Merriweather, the intended receiver. Rivera got there at the end, undercut him, and it's going to be 4th down.
Yeah, he had to wait to the second window on this play, and if he'd have led him just a little bit on the play, it would have been a catch for a first down. He's got to lead him just a little bit on that play because when they ran the route, he got the separation you wanted, but you got to get the ball on him instead of in back of him.
A good number of the folks have headed for some cover with the rain. Ryan Phillips back to punt. Carson Cole back to receive near his own 30-yard line for the Mustangs. Cole comes up, makes a fair catch at the 31-yard line. So Cal Poly will have decent starting field position. More on that story a bit later on. Holyfield and Washington, two backs in the backfield as Mustangs wanting to start their second drive, but they're going to lose 5 yards here on a false start.
False start. Offense, number 5. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Receiver Jordan Garrison moved early. So it's a 1st and 15. Garrison motions into the backfield. Diefenbach going to hand it off, and Tyree Washington trying to push that pile. He gets pulled down. Minimal gain. Jonah Laea. Call it a gain of 3.
This is they call this 20 personnel. They had 2 running backs, no tight ends, trying to give a little diversity in their personnel package to try to throw this Utes defense off the ball.
3 receivers up top with Washington in the backfield for the Mustangs. Now Washington's going to motion out. And 2nd and 12. Here comes pressure. Diefenbach winds up, throws. There was a hold indeed, and now it did come out late. You could definitely see it. There were a couple of receivers in the vicinity, and the trailing receiver was held. And this should be the automatic first down for Cal Poly.
Yeah, you look at it, grabbing that tight end, ripped on. Yeah, it might have been a little hold.
Side judge throws the flag. Our lead official Lyndon Nixon, the white hat.
This Mustang offense, they don't. I mean, they're thinking that they can match up on the outside, athlete versus athlete, with their receivers and tight ends against the secondary of the Utes, secondary linebackers of the Utes.
Paul Wolf's offense has some weapons. You know, Michael Briscoe, their best receiver, number 10. Haven't seen him targeted as of yet.
There are 2 fouls on the play, both by the defense. Personal foul, defense, number 7. That penalty is declined. Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense, number 7. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
I think he got a little confused there because he put them both on Jonathan Hall, and one of those penalties had to be holding.
Right.
The DPI was on number 6. The pass interference was number 6.
All right, thank you.
Cleared it up a little bit.
Yeah, Nate Ritchie got called for the hold. Here's the hit from Hall on Diefenbach.
You got to stop on that play. You had plenty of time. You took 3 steps instead of, they give you at least 1.5 steps. They gave him 3 steps, and they had to throw the flag on that play.
So it's a first down for Cal Poly at their own 44-yard line. Salehi in motion. They fake the handoff to him, give it to Washington. And not a whole lot there, maybe a yard and a half. I think even Mahi, along with Jonathan Hall, they're on the stop for Washington. Ty Diefenbach, he's 6'6", 220 pounds. Technically a redshirt sophomore. He's from Southern California, the LA area, Calabasas, with the 2 years at Pitt. But did not see the field there for the Panthers. Here comes a blitz up the middle. It's picked up and picked off. Jackson Binney going the other way with the pick 6. "45-yard interception return for Jackson Binney."
Run a little outright, a quick out. Receiver and the quarterback just run on the same page. Benny sees it, reacts to it. I mean, it's like he was throwing it to Benny on that play.
Well, 22 consecutive seasons with a pick 6 for the Utes, and they take care of that. Game 2 of the season, the extra point makes it 14-0. You know, where that place. Kenny Olsen back deep for Cal Poly. Curtis puts the leg into this one, and that one's going to sail 5-6 yards beyond the inline of the end zone. As you mentioned, he was just right place, right time.
Right, you know, that trips on the outside, but they ran the speed out. And it's hard for you as a quarterback to read who's going to be on the speed out, who's going to run, who's going to get on the corner route. And he guessed right on the play, was able to make it. It's like he threw it right to Benny on that play. Very instinctual, threw it right to him, takes the pay dirt. That's why he's one of the better athletes on the team. That's why he goes both ways, on defense and offense.
Third possession for Cal Poly. Paul Holyfield Jr. is the back here now for the Mustangs. He hands it off to Holyfield. Will fall forward for close to 3 yards on first down. Cash Dillon, defensive end with the stop.
Yeah, their offense is trying to gain a man by pulling guys. They pull the backside guard, front side guard, and see if they can gain advantage on the front side, but too much penetration on the play side by the Utes. And penetration kills all run plays.
Play fake this time. Diefenbach looks to throw, and he's got a man wide open. Caught beyond midfield. Salehi all the way down near the 30-yard line inside the 30 of Utah.
Great play. It is run a boot. And when he boot, he turns around, sees that he has on the corner route. Get him going one way, turn around, boot, turns back around and sees the corner route, get it to his receiver. He has the arm strength to make things like that happen.
42-yard catch, Keon Salehi. Now Cal Poly, the Mustangs, as deep as they have gotten so far in the Utah territory, and Diefenbach walked away. They're having a problem with the chains.
This Mustang offense and defense are starting to say, all right, we can compete. We just got to make sure we play assignment correct football. We can't let the game get away from us.
Yeah, they announced a timeout, but I don't think anybody called a timeout. But the far sideline, they were having an issue with the chains.
Okay.
They couldn't get them lined up. The ones on the right side were fine. The ones on the far side were not. So, all right, here we go with a 1st and 10 for the Mustangs. Taking the blitz up the middle. Diefenbach fires to the flat, and that is caught here on the near side. Jordan Garrison, redshirt sophomore from Santa Clarita, his first catch. Elijah Davis on the coverage, and a pickup of 12 and another first down for Cal Poly.
Run a little out route, and then you help your offensive line by running this slide protection. We used to call this Fox 2. You slide everybody to the left. And when you slide to the left, you kind of pick up all the blitzes on the way because you're blocking a spot instead of blocking a man. And if somebody comes in your block, just block them.
Brooks Wheatley in motion, quick pass. The pressure came, and in Diefenbach's face was John Henry Daly. Diefenbach had to throw that before he wanted to, and it's incomplete.
There you go, up right on the outside. They try to throw past him, thinking that he'd be influenced to go down with the offensive line, but instead he runs straight up the field and is able to get the quarterback's face.
Briscoe, their top receiver, up top, manned up.
He's got to become more of an influence in this game.
Diefenbach fires near side, a leaping catch. That's Garrison once again. Jordan Garrison. He's going to be a couple yards short of the first down, but down right near the 10-yard line. Picks up 8.
I tell you, there's a lot of confidence if you look. You know, that's a great play on the outside, throwing out. But then on the other side, you know, you got your best against their best. And Jackson Benny is doing a great job one-on-one with their best player on the outside.
So 3rd and 2 for Cal Poly. 0 for 1 on 3rd down so far. Holyfield and Malachi Brown are in the backfield, and now Cal Poly will use their first timeout here.
30 seconds.
An important 3rd and manageable 2 for them here. Big play for them down 14-0 with 5 minutes or so left in the first quarter.
You know, they almost have to score a touchdown on this drive. They're down by two touchdowns. So they need to do this. But, you know, they're just showing so much diversity in this offense. That time they were in 22 personnel, 2 running backs and 2 tight ends, 1 receiver on the outside. I really think that they want to make sure they lock it up on the line of scrimmage and then go one-on-one on the outside and see if they can leak a tight end out late to at least get the first down. But they're trying to score on the left side with their best receiver, Briscoe.
I was about to hit you with that question, Barrett. You know, if you're Cal Poly, are you here to have a good showing or are you here to win? And if you're here to win, this is 4-down territory.
You got to go for it. You got to go for it.
Diefenbach wants to run it, and he's going to be dropped for a loss. Trey Reynolds was the first to get to him.
Here, you know, they get penetration up the field. They guess right on defense. They slanted to the side he was going. And sometimes, you know, you get the bear, and sometimes the bear gets you. And that time, you know, they slanted right into the play, right into which way they were going, make a big play for a loss.
As you mentioned, lost yardage, so they bring out Noah Cerna. 30-yard attempt off the left hash. It is up, it is away, and it is good. So Cerna, his first field goal attempt of the season. They had Gianluca Tomorrow attempt the field goals in their win over USD, and this time Cerna gets an opportunity and gets them on the board.
Yeah, they had to get on the board this time, you know, but I see a confidence level starting to build up in this Mustang team. You know, even after the second score from the Utes, they weren't rushing, you know, they weren't drooping down on their heads. They weren't looking down. They were saying they were still in this. And, you know, just talking to the coaches yesterday from the Mustangs, they really feel as though they can compete and they can go out and make some things happen. They understand the war of attrition. You know, some big guys on the other side of the ball, especially in the trenches with the Utes defense. But they got to make sure that they, you know, stay in this game and keep fighting. Player for player, they're liking what they're seeing from the guys on the outside. They're specialty players. Here we got a little sun, huh, Mark?
Yeah, the sun pops out. We hadn't really had any sun all day. It'd been nice but cloudy. That's a good sign. Lopez kicks off. Glover takes that line drive and lets it go out of bounds. So it's going to come out to the 35.
Oh, that's tough right there. Giving up, you know, 10 yards.
Free kick out of bounds. Kicking team. Ball we place to the 35-yard line. First down.
Hey, you can get all of ESPN College Football all in one place with the all-new ESPN app. Unlock with the ESPN Unlimited plan or log in with your TV provider. Evan Dampier, and the offense for Utah begins at the 35. Dampier, play fake, fires far side, juggled, incomplete. Off the hands there of Tobias Merriweather. Didn't catch it initially, and when he couldn't, that allowed the defender, Buda Boyd, to come in there and knock it away.
Yeah, you see he has a strong arm. It got out there with a purpose. A little heat on it. You know, you can't catch it on your body like that. You got to catch it with your hands. It's going to bounce off when you catch your body. Just use your hands.
Corey Rogers comes into the backfield for the Utes. In motion, Bentley. Dampier looks like he wants to run and will. He's going to run out of bounds at the 47-yard line. He had some plays in the UCLA game where Kyle Whittingham told us we probably would have preferred he just run out of bounds. Well, he did that there.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes you got to stop, drop, and roll. And, you know, some quarterbacks who are dual threat, they tend to want to use their athleticism to make plays, bigger plays than what they have. Sometimes you just take what they're giving you instead of trying to push it too far.
See what he can do with his legs as well. On this first down snap, flags come flying at the snap.
False start. Offense. Number 52. 5-yard penalty. First down.
So another false start.
Because Williams not liking this. This is not what this team does. They're a more fundamentally sound team, and they're showing too many mistakes right now.
Yeah, that's 4 penalties for 30 yards already. We've got just under 4 minutes left in the first quarter. That's out near the sideline is Ryan Davis with his first catch. Buda Boyd pushes him out about the 47.
They are very comfortable with their guys on the outside lining up against the Utes receivers. They didn't have a problem going man-to-man. There they ran a three-down lineman scheme and played coverage behind.
Handed off this time. This is Nate Johnson, who just came in the game. They list him as athlete, but he's a guy that was really a dual threat quarterback for them in high school and with the Utes, and he gets to touch the ball for the first time. They used him as a decoy several times at UCLA.
Absolutely, jet sweeps and things of that nature. They don't have a problem with giving anybody an opportunity to play, just as long as you can go out there and make some things happen.
He's going to come in motion this time, and he does get a chance with the jet sweep. Turns it upfield. We'll have a first down inside the 40-yard line of Cal Poly. Well, Johnson began his collegiate career with Utah, went to Vandy last year, and now has come back.
Sometimes you say, you think the grass is greener on the other side when it comes back, because this green grass over here cuts pretty good also. You just have to line it and edge it a little bit, and I think he's starting to see that now.
Smith Snowden in there offensively for the Utes. He's got a couple of carries for 15 yards as well as a 3-yard reception. That's fired. Lander Barton, another one of the defensive players, who had a touchdown catch of 14 yards against UCLA. Gets his first catch of the day here, and it goes for 8 yards.
He doesn't look like just a defensive player. He looks very comfortable with the ball in his hands. Here they are. They gave him a little spot route. He turns around, gets it, and he's going up the field.
Got him by the shirt tail to try to bring him down.
That's a big guy, too.
It's Hunter Andrews in the backfield with Dampier. Fakes the handoff to Snowden, and on the slant is caught a tumbling grab by Ryan Davis. His second catch on this drive for the fellow New Mexico transfer.
I love what Coach Beck is doing right now. He's just giving easy, simple pass plays, getting the ball out of his hands, making sure that, keeping them clean in the pocket. This is how you keep the offense going.
8th play of this drive, longest drive so far of the game for Utah, and a run there for Hunter Andrews, who got sideswiped just as he was picking up a pretty good head of steam. He's down at the 19 as number 2 Troy Bean undercut him. Gain of 7.
Yeah, we call that Bob. We just pull the front side guard around, and then, find him. It was an open side. There was no tight end. It was just an offensive lineman. Pull that guard around, see if you can get matched numbers to the outside, and able to, at least get 6 yards on the play.
Jackson Benny's at the bottom of your screen. Going to go to Andrews, and Hunter Andrews is going to set up a 1st and goal from the 9 now, a 9-yard pickup.
Yeah, boot protection. Get that defense going one way, boot on the outside, drop it off underneath. Dampier started to get very comfortable in the offense. Things are coming real natural for him right now. But this is what I love what Coach Beck is doing now. The packages that he has, putting big guys in. That was my dream, to be an offensive lineman playing tight end.
This drive that started at the 35, thanks to the kick going out of bounds. Now 1st and goal, and Andrews, Jake East with the tackle this time, and hands off. Andrews wiggles his way for a yard or 2.
There we have some beef back there. You had 2 tight ends, but then you have the big defensive lineman line it up at fullback. I mean, they do everything. Coach Beck makes sure he calls everything as far as offensive formations, offensive, personnel packages. There they had 99 at fullback, leading up into the hole.
3rd and goal. Wayshawn Parker, the back. Davis in motion. They throw him at the end zone, touchdown. Nobody around as Ryan Davis came in motion. He strolled right into the end zone. His first touchdown as a Ute. He had 3 touchdown catches last year at New Mexico.
They're on the outside. They run a spot route by the tight end, which occupied the DB and the linebacker, and to have Davis come with a little slant route on the backside.
Dylan Curtis hammers home the extra point. And here inside the first minute of the second quarter, Utah has opened up a 21-3 lead.
You know, here it is. You know, Dampier just sits back and it's wide open on the slant play because the little stop route by the tight end, because they go to the tight end a lot in the end zone or in the red zone. And he just sets a little spot route and then they have a slant route behind it. And that slant route is wide open because they got confused on who they should take up front.
So the 4-yard touchdown pass. 12 plays, 65 yards, ate up just a tick over 5 minutes.
When you run the ball that successful, Mark, it opens up the passing game, opens up the passing lanes. Just throw in behind those guys up front.
Dylan Curtis to kick it off. True freshman for Murray High School. Holds a bunch of high school state records in the state of Utah. Longest field goal of 63 yards.
Unbelievable.
Most field goals made in a season in a high school year. 21. Set the state record with a 6 field goal game last year at Payson. Olson's going to let that sail over his head.
Didn't coach say he wouldn't mind him kicking a 40-yard if the conditions were right?
From the 40, meaning he says it's possible here at this elevation and with the wind behind him that he could kick one from 70.
No, I mean, and I believe it from what I'm seeing now. I mean, a 63-yarder in high school, he has a bionic leg. I tell you what, this Mustang offense has to come back and score. They have to find a way to get themselves back in this game. Maybe they start taking a little chance, go over the top of this defense of the Utes. They need a big play right now. Where's Michael Briscoe? Briscoe should be the guy.
In motion goes Holyfield. Diefenbach able to thread that one to Michael Briscoe. You just mentioned there's his first catch of the game.
They've got to get him more involved. And they look to him for a big play. They look to him to get this offense going as far as the passing game. This offensive line is going to have to hold up against that front four.
Briscoe
That's a tall order.
Briscoe had 2 touchdown catches last week. In fact, their first 2 touchdowns of the game he caught. At over 100 yards receiving, and that's knocked down, batted away. Is that a live ball?
It looked like it might have been behind him.
You know, if they played it that way for a moment, and the whistle didn't come for a second or so, then they did blow it, and Benny was playing it like he should, and that was going after it like it were a live ball.
I hope I see a replay because it looked like he threw behind him. He threw behind him because the receiver was behind him.
I think from that angle, it would have been borderline.
Yes.
So 3rd and 1, but empty backfield. Now they do motion the tight end, Nick Sani. He's motioning him around. He's having to tell him to move to the edge of the formation. Now he comes in motion. Wanted to use him as a blocker. And the spot that Sani left is exactly where the play went and got blown up.
I think sometimes you got to call a timeout because neither one of those gentlemen were on the same page. You know, you tell the tight end come in. He's got to be that lead blocker, leading right in on that linebacker right there.
And number 6, Nate Ritchie, the safety, just came in and plugged that hole and dropped him for a loss. And Mustangs cannot convert on the 3rd and 1.
20 is now 53. 20 is now 53.
It announced that Trey Wilson will wear 53 and 20 at different times for Cal Poly. So that's the reason for that announcement. Jesse Ehrlich with the punt. And over inline drive, and that's going to take a bounce. It didn't hit Glover. He got close to it, but it skips back and will be down at about the 24-yard line.
Stagnant than what they've been doing this last quarter.
Utes begin this drive from their own 24-yard line. Dampier looks to throw on 1st down. Look right, now looks left. Looking deep for Snowden, but that gets covered up. And then he gets run down by Mikey D'Amato. The linebacker gets to him. And a loss of a couple of yards.
Yeah, Dampier's going to go into the meeting room and see that he missed a wheel route on the outside that was wide open with Parker. He was one-on-one on the outside. If he'd have just tossed it up there and let him run over it, it might have been 6.
Play lost 3, 2nd down and 13. Dampier, quick strike out to the edge. That's Snowden, but that is well defended. Austin Wilson, the cornerback.
And see, that's what we're talking about right there, Mark. They have athletes out there that can line up and at least, give them something to look at. They made a play right there. They've got to continue to do that, play fast, and almost play reckless to get some things going up front. Maybe you send a linebacker on a blitz, void a zone, but you got to do something to make them uncomfortable on the outside.
Utes 3 of 4 on 3rd down. He's going to look deep. He's going to take a deep shot, and it's over the head of the intended receiver, Merriweather. It was a 3rd and 12, and they go long, and Cal Poly forces a punt. It'll be just the 2nd punt of the day from Utah.
So like I was saying, you saw that. Merriweather with Rivera, he was stride for stride with him, ran the same route with him. They have enough to make something happen right now, but you can't continue to let this snowball effect go on with your defense. Now on the offensive side of the ball, when they get this ball back, they got to take some shots down the field.
Ryan Phillips, 2nd punt of the game. Right as the catch is made by Cole, he is hit and dropped.
Gutsy.
West D, San Diego. 82 yards, no touchdowns, 1 pick today. We have a new quarterback, Grigsby. Well, what we were just talking about, the heat that Diefenbach was getting, I think has caused Paul Wolf, the head coach of Cal Poly, to say, let me give them a different look there at quarterback.
Yeah, and give him an opportunity, all right, to have somebody else lead him at this point. Give him some type of spark.
Anthony Grigsby going to keep it, and he's going to run with it. It's run down there by Trey Reynolds.
So far since he's been in the game, they've had 15 yards. We need something to get it going, and maybe they need more of an athlete back there that can run a little better to open things up on this defense. Make him defend all 11 players as opposed to just, defending Ty and him throwing the ball with no success.
Grigsby did throw a touchdown pass in their win against San Diego last week. He came off the bench as well there. Played some time at Nevada. Actually, spent time at Nevada. That is a backwards pass. Briscoe throwing, and they had him open. Alec Marshall, the tight end. Oh, it was set up to work.
That was, oh my goodness. I mean, you couldn't be more wide open. They just ran a little 9 right on the backside. Tight end gets it out to Brisby, and then he throws it up. He just throws it and leads it a little too far. You had time.
Yeah.
You got to make sure you sit back and just deliver a catchable ball.
Like you said, he had an extra beat or 2 maybe tops.
Yes, to deliver a catchable ball.
To deliver a better throw than that. Keeping Grigsby. Fake the pass. It's tripped up, and where are they going to mark him? It's right near the marker at the 40. Trey Reynolds got a piece of him. It will be enough for the 1st down.
Right now they're keeping that defense on his toes. When you have a mobile quarterback, get him to the outside, and he's doing a great job of faking like he's going to throw it, which is going to hold those guys just an extra second, just enough time to get him beyond the sticks for the 1st down.
Grigsby trying to draw him off sides. Utes don't bite. Play clock slips under 10. Four-man rush. Pass goes to the far side. Looking for the adjustment. Incomplete. Going in the direction of Briscoe. And Elijah Davis, who didn't turn around to pick up the ball, but didn't make contact or enough contact with the receiver there to draw a flag.
Yeah, it was good defense. He didn't guard him. He didn't put it, try to find his face or anything, but, it's just good defense.
And 2nd and 10 with the Mustangs from the 40 of the Utes. Motion Sullivan. Grigsby swallowed up there by John Henry Daly.
He's having a game right now. You know, penetration kills all run plays. Once you get up, you get guys on different levels that are trying to block. Now you created a sense of, all right, now where do I go? Then guys start showing up that are getting penetration and stopping the play in the backfield, tackle for loss.
Mustangs 1 of 4 on 3rd down. They're going to get a free play here. Throw goes to the far side. The adjustment by Briscoe and a flag there. So 2 flags. They knew they had a free play. Briscoe was manned up with Elijah Davis again. Well, Grigsby took a shot. And the end result of this is they're going to have a 1st down, pick up 10 yards, and keep the drive moving.
It's a good play by Briscoe, too. He slowed down, fought for the ball, didn't just let it just go over his head. He fought for the ball, which made the DB think the ball was there, didn't turn around, which drew the flag.
So they can refuse the offsides penalty, take the PI, the pass interference.
There are 2 fouls on the play, both by the defense. Offside, defense, number 91, that penalty declined. Pass interference, defense, number 9, 15-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
Here they go, jump off sides, snaps the ball, good job by the center. But then they played through it, and that's the big thing. You got to play through it. And Grigsby, you know, puts a catchable ball out there, and that's a good job by Briscoe, like I said, competing for the ball.
They have a 1st down to the 26. Avani Damuni blow that one up right at the line of scrimmage.
They're in the red zone now. Now it's time to, you know, pull out everything, pull out all the stops to try to make something happen on the offensive side of the ball for the Mustangs. Give yourself an opportunity.
2nd and 10 on the 26-yard line. Still plenty on the play clock. Utes make a few defensive adjustments with personnel, and Grigsby looks to throw, fires towards the far side, and almost picked off. That was a jump ball. Jackson Benny nearly had his 2nd pick of the game.
Great play. You see it in pass protection. He had to get rid of the ball. That is a blitzing linebacker coming at you. I mean, a linebacker.
Avani Damuni just got him right in the chest. Made him pay. Now it's 3rd and 10. Troy Fletcher, Tyree Washington in the backfield. Grigsby. And run it straight ahead.
Yeah, I don't know if I like that play call. They had 21 personnel in there, and they ran a read option on the play, and they're already getting penetration up front. So an unblocked guy was going to come up and make the play on him. He might have, if I would have, I'd have kept it and tried to get it myself. But at this point, it's hard for you to run read options when the defense is playing at such a high level and playing on the other side of the line of scrimmage, playing on your side of the line of scrimmage.
Now Poly's going to bring in their other place kicker, Gianluca DeMauro, who hit 2 field goals against San Diego, one of those from 30. This is a 42-yard attempt on the Jesse Ehrlich's hold. Good snap. And we have a whistle before the snap.
Prior to the kick, delay of game, offense, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
Ouch. That's going to turn a 42-yard attempt into a 47.
I guess they have enough confidence in them to kick it again. Yeah, I don't think I would have put my offense back on the field either.
2nd opportunity for DeMauro. Another good snap, good hold. It's angling left, but it is up and through. So not deterred by that 5-yard penalty. 47-yarder knocked through by Gianluca DeMauro to make it 21-6. 21-6 as Cal Poly kicks it away, and Glover's going to see that bounce in the end zone for a touchback.
Let's see what we can get from this offense. You know, do they still stick with Grisby? I mean, Dampier running the ball or throwing the ball? I believe Dampier at this point is playing a great game.
10 rushing yards, 111 through the air for Dampier. We saw Parker in the backfield. Bentley motions. Here's the pass out to the flat. A move made there by number 18, Tobias Merriweather.
You know, that's Wendell.
Picked up 10. Corey Rogers now in the backfield. We're going to have a flag come out.
That's a defensive, that's an offensive line. That's a defensive lineman lineup at tight end, and went out for a pass this last play.
The call here.
Encroachment, offense, number 18, 5-yard penalty is first down.
That's unusual.
Encroachment on offense. I think they call it offsides.
Oh, the receiver. That was Merriweather. He was just trying to get to the other side of the formation. Instead of going behind the line of scrimmage, he went in front. He ran in front of the ball. So now he ball. Merriweather gets a catch brought down by Jeremiah Bernard. So yeah, it was the accurate call.
Yes.
You don't see that.
I've never seen that. In 10 years of college football, I've never seen that.
That's straight ahead. Corey Rogers. This I got to see it again. This is so highly unusual.
Right.
I mean, Merriweather's a veteran guy.
Oh, wait.
Here's Rogers with the run. He's across midfield down at the 46-yard line. You think you've seen it all in the game, in the sport, and then there's always something like that to let you know that, no, you haven't. You haven't seen everything.
You could have bought me with a wooden nickel right then. I can't believe that. That's something that happened in practice.
Second down and 4. Rogers again.
And Mark, you know, this is what we call the war of attrition. This is when the big guys up front start coming off the ball and taking advantage of the smaller defensive line of the Mustangs. They're just coming off 3 yards in a cloud of dust. We call this neck roll football. Put the big heavies in there, and what you're seeing, number 49, just coming off the rock, hand it to the running back, and let's go.
Dampier, ball fake. Looking in Merriweather's direction again. He's got Bentley, the tight end, is well deep, and he's going to throw in his direction. Bentley! Incomplete. It hung up just enough. Jeremiah Bernard, one of those able to get over there at the right time. Along with Breedlove, Raylan Breedlove.
Yeah, just enough pressure on Dampier that he couldn't, set his feet and push the ball out far enough to lead him, put some sauce on it to come down with the catch for Bentley.
First time they've targeted the tight end Dallin Bentley today. Got a touchdown catch in the win at UCLA. And from the Wildcat, Parker probing and able to positive yardage out of that up to the 36-yard line. Hey, not to beat the dead horse, you said something about Merriweather, what he did. He probably thought he was in practice. Maybe the muscle, he probably does do that in practice.
Exactly.
And the muscle memory kicked in at the wrong time in a real game.
It happens in practice, and you got to make sure, those are little things that, coach is going to be like, come on, guys. Come on now. Come on, guys.
Yeah, you'll hear about that, I'm sure, in practice.
Absolutely.
3 of 5 on third down today. Here comes the rush. Here's the screen pass. Nowhere to go for Smith Snowden. That time the Cal Poly defense led by Victory Johnson. Let's sniff that out.
Yeah, the offensive line are baited to get those defensive linemen up the field as far as they can and throw underneath it, and maybe you can get out there. Trying to get the offensive line out there, but hey, he redirects, goes and makes the play on Snowden. Good play by the defense. They saw it was too easy, backtracked, and were able to make the play.
Well, that lost 5 yards, so 4th down, and Phillips comes on to punt for the 3rd time here in the first half. Carson Cole back at his own 10 for Cal Poly.
He hadn't got much work this week, the last 2 weeks, right?
Trying, perfectly executed. You could see they've obviously worked on that a number of times. It was Luca Caldarella. Just went right down there, caught the punt right at about the 5-yard line. Perfectly placed there by the punter, Ryan Phillips.
Now they practiced that also, so it worked out just fine.
37-yard punt, but it's got as good a 37-yard punt you're ever going to find.
Yeah, I'm still thinking about encroachment for the offensive side of the ball.
I am never going to forget that play. Never. As long as I live.
Never, never.
Worst starting field position for Cal Poly today. Grigsby's the quarterback once again. Came in for the last drive as well in lieu of Ty Diefenbach. Grigsby's going to hand it off to Briscoe. And the wide receiver can't get anything. He might have lost a half yard or a yard as Teo Johnson, the safety, chased him down.
You know, at this point, you can't run plays that are going to develop too far, and especially going to the outside when you're this far backed up on your side of the football. You just can't do it. You got to have quick hitting plays, maybe a quick pass, a quick run. Just pick them up and put them down, get down the field, get as much yards as you can to get out this end zone.
Clock running under 3 minutes. Utah's thinking they'd like to get the ball another time before we head to the half. From his own end zone, Grigsby throws, deflected, incomplete. That was Benny, who already has 1 pick six today.
He's having a phenomenal game. There he is, man-to-man on the outside. He's able to get across, beat the receiver across his face, and make a play. He's having an outstanding job.
That's his 2nd pass breakup of the day. He's got a couple tackles, the pick six.
Touchdown. I mean, he's playing incredible right now. And we haven't really seen him on the opposite side of the ball.
3rd and 11 from their own 4-yard line for the Mustangs. Grigsby 4 yards deep in the end zone, finds Briscoe right near the sticks at the 15, and they'll mark him up to the 16. That should be enough. First half. I think whether Utah wants to use one of their timeouts or not will depend on the outcome of this first down play for the Mustangs as Grigsby fakes the handoff. He runs with it. Only gets a yard or two. As John Henry Daly, who's having a big first half here with another tackle.
I mean, do they have clones of him? Because he's everywhere on the field right now. Mr. Hustle, getting penetration on run plays, harassing the quarterback on pass plays.
Utah, their second, 30 seconds.
So Utah will indeed use their first timeout here.
Their first timeout.
Hoping to get the ball back on the offensive side here before the half comes to an end.
You know, Grigsby, when it was working, everything was fast. You know, they're trying to get the ball to the outside, and it's going to be hard to get the ball on the outside when you have athletes that can run the way Utah's defense runs. So maybe they run things right up the middle, you know, run trap plays, run power plays, try to get, you know, some movement up front. Maybe try a draw or screen in the inside. We call them slow screens to the running back. Something to take advantage of the penetration this defense is getting.
Barton showing like he wants to blitz here with that 4-man front for Utah. Yep, here he comes. Grigsby rolls out, and it's batted around and right into the hands of the defender, Jonathan Hall. And he's down inside the 1-yard line.
That's a great play. Just finishing the play. That's all it is, you know, finishing the play. You know, I've seen, you know, stuff happen like that, you know, and it's not luck. It's finishing plays, it's hustle. You know, you're outworking the guy you're playing against. And he just outworked him on that play. He didn't finish the play. He kept going. He kept snatching at the ball, and it worked out for him.
You know, that's
his hustle. That's flat-out hustle.
Great play, a really unusual play.
Yes.
because that ball left the hands of Grigsby and went about 2 or 3 yards before he got a hand on it. And a whistle as the snap came. First and goal from inside the 1.
Prior to the snap, timeout, Cal Poly, their second.
Yeah, they were kind of, out of sorts. They were running a guy in at the last second. Didn't quite know what they wanted to run from the defensive package of, with Utah having their offensive package in there. The Mustangs have to keep fighting, but hey, this is just flat out hustle. That's the ball down, fighting for it, jockeying for it, but I'm going to finish the play. I'm just going to outwork whoever I'm playing against, and that's exactly what he did. Grigsby, trying to get the ball out of his hands quick.
So it almost went back. It did go back to Grigsby. He almost got it back.
Yes.
And then it bounced again to Hall. And I'll give Grigsby some credit in that a lot of quarterbacks, after it bounced off them a second time, kind of would have got worried about the rest of the play, and he made the tackle to keep him out of the end zone. Akari Rogers. And for the touchdown.
I need that look again. That was perfect for me as an offensive lineman, because I saw that offensive line took the Mustang defensive line and drove the entire line 3 yards back into the end zone and on their back. That's just coming off the ball, and I'm going to beat you up, drive, 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 and eventually finishes them 3 yards into the end zone. I could run out there with that, and I'm old.
I cannot imagine a worse option for any defense in college football when you put them on the field against the offensive line of Utah, and it's going to come out to the 25, and here we are, week 2. Let's take a look at some of the other matchups in the Big 12 game with a late field goal over Iowa. Grigsby keeping it. I think Cal Poly would be content to eat some clock here.
I'd have ran that, at the goal line instead of running it right now. I'd have ran that down when we're trying to get out of the end zone, get out of that area.
Cal Poly will get the ball to start the second half. They won the toss and deferred. Utah has a couple timeouts, but they look like they're, after getting that touchdown a few moments ago, content to let the clock run here as we get down close to a minute left in the first half. I think Briscoe fell down or something happened there. He started hobbling a little bit, but looks okay. The pass went where he was supposed to be. He was late because of the impediment.
Yeah, a little footwork. This is it's going to be tough. What does Cal Poly do when they get into this locker room? They got to settle down a little bit, but they got to change their game plan. You got to take it over the top.
And then completion stopped the clock with a minute to go. And a 3rd and 7. Now Utah's probably thinking we might be able to use those timeouts on the offensive side. They can get a stop here. Manned up, and it went over the head of the intended receiver, Jordan Garrison, who had some space there, but Grigsby overshot him, and Garrison also kind of looked like he slowed down a little bit.
Yeah, you got to finish the play. And you can't, think that you're out of the play, especially when you're in a position right now where you have to make something happen. You got to keep finishing the play, and at that point, you turn around, you slow down a little bit, and you get thrown over. Gets on the outside, creates that separation. Couldn't spin his hips. He just overthrew him a little bit.
Yeah, on second look at that, not a whole lot Garrison could have done differently.
Yeah.
Ehrlich on to punt, Glover back, and now for Cal Poly, this is, it was a 21-6 game just a minute or two ago on the clock. Utah's going to get the ball back again here. Glover inside his own 20, gets a block, 35-40, midfield. Glover upended by the kicker, Ehrlich. The punter got him. It prevented a touchdown.
You can't let the punter get you, but hey, that's just great blocking by the guys on punt return. And I apologize for the receiver saying I slowed down. He ran the route right, but I mean, look, they blocked it perfectly. They didn't block in the back. Everybody's looking, trying to find work.
And you know how kickers make a tackle? Right like that.
Yes.
Just exactly like that. But it worked. 50-yard return. First down from the 30 of Cal Poly for the Utes. Dampier fires and overshoots the intended receiver there, Ryan Davis.
See, that's another time where you got to set your feet and deliver a catchable ball. He wants that back.
And the Utes have 2 timeouts remaining. 34 seconds to go. Dampier again looking wide open. He's got the tight end Bentley with room to run inside the 10 before he hits some contact near the 6 from Brian Dukes. It'll be first and goal. 25-yard gain.
Things are getting tough for this defense of the Mustangs. You try to run everything right. Here they are. It's not even a pick play. They just run a crossing route on the outside. Somebody forgot their assignment. They get mixed up. And Dampier sees and takes advantage of it.
First catch of the game for Bentley. And we go to the Wildcat here with Nate Johnson to trigger it for the Utes. Johnson looking, going to the sideline. It's pushed out by Buda Boyd. Let's pick up a yard and a half or so. Dampier was out there, but with the Wildcat, the direct snap there to Nate Johnson.
He looked like he was going to do something, didn't he?
He did. He was looking. He's got explosiveness, Nate Johnson. Now back to Dampier. Bentley moves to the right side of the formation. Second and goal from the 3. A little confusion here. Bentley moved off the line. Now he's back on the line, and Dampier hands off, and lowering his shoulder is Parker, and he's met a couple of Cal Poly D linemen, and not much there. Now the timeout's going to be used by Utah, and they will have 1 left.
Yeah, I just think they were trying to get a little fancy right then. You know, sometimes you need to, put your neck roll on, get those big guys up front coming off the rock. Maybe put your, a defensive lineman at fullback, a couple of offensive linemen in there, and just drive the ball in. Totally different year, totally different response from our head coach right here, Utah's head coach. Last year, I think he's, took that and taken it out of his mind and came in with a new game plan. New offensive coordinator, new players. Very respected coach out here.
Third and goal now from the 2-yard line. Dampier goes under center. And now Cal Poly wants to use a timeout, so they'll burn their last.
30 seconds.
Coach Beck must have heard me, offensive coordinator for Utah. Brought in his offensive lineman out there. We just called it Rhino, heavy formation, bringing offensive lineman in, 2 tight ends, running back.
15 seconds left here in the first half. When we get to the intermission, coming up at the half, we'll take a look at some of the Big 12 quarterback week 1 recap. And I'm sure Devin Dampier is going to figure prominently in that.
Absolutely.
Pete Sousa, Taylor McCartan, and the Big 12 Quarterback Club. Also, we'll feature some of our top primetime matchups coming up later tonight around the ESPN networks. And
we got some good ones.
Yeah, we do indeed. And first half highlights and stats from this one here in Salt Lake. Rogers is the back. 2 receivers near side. Now they move some bulk on the left side of the formation. But running right, Dampier wanting to take it himself, gets stood up at about the 1-yard line. He had a pretty good head of steam, and then the Cal Poly defense with Mikey D'Amato stiffened up and kept him out of the end zone.
That's their crown jewel in making that defense. Mike linebacker. Needs somebody to make a play. He made the play. Kind of stood him up. Read the play, got outside, met a man-to-man. I will not be scored on right now on this play.
So Utah's going to use their final timeout here with 8 seconds left. It's 4th and goal from the 1. And I don't think there's any question a field goal is the farthest thing from the minds of Utah right now. They're going to try to punch it in the end zone again here with one more try with 8 seconds left, 4th down.
Mark, I mean, it'd be almost disrespectful for your offensive line if you don't try.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, those guys up front, yeah. They told them already. They've already put their request in. They probably gave them the play for them.
They may not have come off the field if they tried to send the field goal unit out.
Right.
No, we're staying. We're going to try to punch this in. They're 1-1 on 4th down so far this year. That came in the win over UCLA last week. Dampier under center. Here we go. He's going to hand it off. Rodgers battling. He gets in. Not by much, but gets in.
Tight bunch on the outside, on the right side. Snap the ball, nothing special. Just hand it off to the running back. And I'll meet you in the end zone.
Second rushing touchdown of the first half for Dakari Rodgers.
Look, they come off the ball, tight ends, linebackers, offensive linemen. Keep driving. Just run in behind them. Eventually, somebody's going to put their guy in the end zone for the score. We were always told that, Mark. Score with your guy and we'll score.
The touchdown, the previous play is under review.
All right, I knew he didn't get in by a lot, so they're going to take a closer look at this. And our replay official, Mike Stevens, had not had any work to do so far in the first half. So with 3 seconds left in the half, they give him an opportunity here to see if he indeed got in. Now, obviously, if he didn't, you take a touchdown off the board because they would turn it over on downs. This is a 4th down play.
You know, I said penetration kills run plays. The Mustangs got a little penetration on that play.
Obviously, aren't going to overturn it from the previous angle.
That's so close. Yeah, it's so close.
Yeah, we've got the right down the goal line, but
yeah, it's not enough. We can't see just enough. You know, is there enough to overturn it? That's the problem. I don't necessarily see it, Mark.
Well, the official on that far side looking right down the goal line is the only one who initially made the touchdown call, and he had the best look at it.
Yes.
We certainly didn't see anything conclusive that was conclusive to overturn the call.
After review, the ruling on the field of a touchdown is upheld.
Yeah, they just use upheld now.
Upheld. Not stand, but upheld.
They got rid of stand or confirmed. Those are terms we don't use anymore, apparently.
We have a whole new dictionary on what we should say these days, huh?
Yeah, that's a revolving book right there. That changes all the time. Here's the point after coming for Dylan Curtis. He hammers that up and through, and it's 35-6. This was what, 20
by little guys. Sam Mills put his hat right in my chest. God rest his soul, and almost took my soul out of me.
Knowing what we know about Sam Mills in his playing career, we don't doubt that one bit.
Absolutely.
This is going to eat up the rest of the time here in the half. Cal Poly is going to get the ball to start the second half, but 2 late touchdowns here in the second quarter. Balloon what was a 21-6 lead for the Utes to 3rd for Cal Poly. In that first half, they're going to get the football to start half number 2. And as to be expected, that's going to be a touchback.
They got to come out with a purpose. The Mustangs must come out with a purpose.
And I
got to keep fighting.
Who they come out with at quarterback. Ty Diefenbach, starting quarterback. Grigsby played a handful of series. They're actually going to give Jackson Akins an opportunity here. So the guy 3rd on the depth chart going to get an opportunity here. Jackson Akins, redshirt sophomore out of Phoenix, right up the middle. Jonathan Hall brings down Akins after a pickup of about 6.
It's a simple little draw play, block down, pull into the hole, trap, and run in behind that offensive line just to get things moving a little bit.
Washington is the back. I was wondering which of the 2 options that the Mustangs head coach Paul Wolf was going to go with at quarterback, and instead he went with the 3rd. And that pass is behind Briscoe. It was deflected actually by Jonathan Hall at the line. It made that even more off target.
This defense starting the way they finished. Rushing the passer, getting up the field, creating havoc.
3rd down and a manageable 3. 2 of 7 on 3rd down in the first half for the Mustangs. Motion man is Michael Briscoe. Akins flagged down. Pass comes behind Briscoe, incomplete. We'll see about the flag. Whether this flag will extend or end this drive for Cal Poly. Lyndon Nixon, our official.
Illegal motion, offense. That penalty decline brings up 4th down.
It's going to end the.
Yeah, it's too much walking around for me, Mark. I mean, it's almost like a laissez-faire attitude by this Mustang offense, the way they showed it. You know, the demeanor just wasn't there. No matter what the score is, you know, as a player, you don't want to have that type of momentum in a game. You must keep fighting. You got to still, because you're not just playing for this game, you know, but you're setting a pattern on how the rest of the season is going to go. And right now, this is not showing well for Cal Poly.
So Jonathan Akins get the headset on to talk to the offensive coordinator, Tim Rosenbaugh. You'll see up in the press box, punted away by Jesse Ehrlich. Taken by Glover, backs inside the 20, spun around at the 27, and then spun down at the 30-yard line.
Yeah, Utah's starting to work on things they need to work on. And you can tell they're working on punt return. The explosiveness they had going into the halftime, you know, kind of woke these guys up. And that, you only need that little bit of burst to have your guys on punt return blocking for you, take it to another level, and next thing you know, it becomes a strength within your team.
Well, Utes' first possession of the second half begins at their own 30-yard line. Parker looking, and he's going to lose 5 yards. First one to him was cornerback Boston Wilson for Cal Poly.
Well, I see that now. Defensive side of the ball are acting totally different. They're coming to play, creating that tackle for loss, getting up the field.
You know, we've seen play after play, Barrett, where when you have an FCS opponent, you wonder about the athleticism. Can they keep up these FBS athletes? And I think Cal Poly has done that for the most part. There's a run by Dampier, turns it upfield at the 35, and it's pushed out at the 39 by Mikey D'Amato, and that's just short of the first down. 14-yard run. They're going to leave him about a yard short.
And this young man is, you know, they say he's the spark plug with his team. Look at the hustle he displays. You know, if he's not hustling like that, I truly believe it would have been probably 5-10 more yards that Pierre could have ran for. But since he hustled like he hustled, he made him make a decision and ran him out of bounds just before the first down.
A Wildcat here with Hunter Andrews to trigger, and it's Dampier in motion. And Andrews is going to run it. He has the first down to the 44-yard line, where Kenny Olson takes him to the turf.
You know, I like to think the coach, you know, Beck understands he didn't want his quarterback, you know, because there's been a history of quarterbacks, you know, with injuries in this organization. So
Cam Rising most prominently last year.
Absolutely. Yep. So I think, you know, it's good that they do run the Wildcat a little bit.
Back to Dampier, who hands off to Nakari Rogers, and Nakari right up to midfield with a gain of 6. He picks up about 6 on first down.
This was an offensive line comes around and tells coach, hey, coach, back. Put it on our shoulders.
Pyle's going to get pushed all the way near the line to gain, which is the 46-yard line of Cal Poly. And Rogers again is going to move the sticks.
Yeah, you know, offensive line is playing well. You know, I won a Super Bowl with the Steelers, and that's exactly what we did. We ran the ball probably over 100 times more. We passed the ball. We won a Super Bowl with that. The Eagles the same way. They ran the ball exactly the same way. So when you have an offensive line like that, you have to take advantage of it. This is one of the better ones in FBS.
Wildcat again with Andrews. Dampier's wide right. He just stands there as the play goes up the middle, up to the 42-yard line. You never know what this offense is going to pull out for the Utes and what the new OC Jason Beck has, what he's going to do formation-wise.
Yeah.
Where he's going to put Dampier when the Wildcats in action.
How many offensive linemen and defensive linemen he's going to have in the game.
Yeah, how many two-way players?
Yeah, defensive players. I mean, you're absolutely right. They do it all here.
See him there in the middle of the screen, up in the press box. 2nd and 6, fakes the handoff to Smith. Snowden fires across the middle, and what a catch by Ryan Davis. Down inside around the 15-yard line, brought down by Calvin Moore, and Ryan Davis made a great adjustment, come up with that football. Tough catch.
Great adjustment, you know, that's confidence you have in your receiver. He comes across and rips it out of the air. Doesn't just catch it, but he rips it out of the air. And once you see your quarterback throwing to you and you're going to take advantage of it, that's exactly what you want to see.
After the 27-yard gain, Andrews this time, met by Mason Rivera to the 11-yard line. Hunter Andrews getting more and more playing time here as this game has gone on.
You're going to need these guys later on in the season.
Andrews, who played 4 games as a true freshman last year. Utah 9-9 in the red zone this season, all touchdowns. Nate Johnson met by Julius Jordan there.
Julius Jordan comes up to make his play. Sticks his hat in there. Stops the jet sweep.
As perfect as you can be in the red zone so far this year. And this is a team last year that was one of the worst teams in the red zone in 2024.
Yeah, they were picked last year to win the Big 12. And, you know, it went downhill after the BYU game.
Under pressure, Dampier angles, caught. Did he get a foot down? He did. Touchdown. That's Dallin Bentley, the tight end. 11-yard touchdown. And the 2nd of the year for Bentley, who had a TD catch against the Bruins last week in Pasadena.
Caught him in one-on-one coverage. There's one, a big guy and a little guy. Bentley goes up and takes it out the air. He steps back, you know, just drop back pass, sees the blitz coming, and has so much confidence in his receiver, his tight end, to go get it.
Dampier's 3rd touchdown throw of the game. He's closing in on 200 yards passing, 192. Dylan Curtis for the point after.
I don't know. I mean, do you see Isaac Wilson now? I mean, you can't get on themselves, and here I was fighting, scratching and clawing still the entire game.
It was the last Lions appearance in the NFL postseason until last year, wasn't it?
Absolutely. Yes, it was. We beat up on pretty good. But as I said, you know, everybody else enjoyed it. You know, ha-ha and he and Robert Porcher is still coming for me and did not give up. You know, everybody else, you know, having a nice time, great day.
Still seeing him in your sleep.
Right, you know.
Well, they brought in Jonathan Akins at quarterback, Cal Poly did, to begin the 2nd half. He marches back out there for the Mustangs' 2nd possession of the 2nd half.
And they said all 3 guys were going to play when we had the meeting with them the other day.
Akins to throw on 1st down, does so to the back out of the backfield, Holyfield. He's pushed out there by Smith Snowden.
There we go. I see a little more pep in the step of this offense. They're running around now. You know, they look like they were lumbering at first, you know, but now they're starting to get a little enthusiasm. You know, coach probably said something to them. But this is a game where you can't go out there and lollygag.
3-yard gain for Holyfield, who's in the backfield again. Holyfield, who missed all the last season with a knee injury. Low snap gathered by Akins. This time he fires one to Salehi, who gets hit well hard there by Trey Reynolds. Nate Ritchie also there.
Pads popping. You know, Utah, hey, they're still out there making sure there's no touchdowns being scored right now.
So it's 3rd down and 6. And the Mustangs 29.
You know, Coach Scaly, you know, he's that type that he wants to make sure that his defense plays with great emotion and great intensity, and those guys are still out there popping.
They still had 10 seconds on the play clock, but are going to use a timeout.
Timeout. Cal Poly.
All right, here's the 3rd and 6 call. Akins under heat and is sacked. Back at the 22, John Henry Daly.
There go that man again.
That is that man again.
John Henry Daly is having a game of games. He gets up the field, beats him, gets the hands up, rips. And, you know, as an offensive tackle, it's tough. You know, it's tough. When everybody in the building knows you're going to go out there and you're going to punt. I mean, you're going to pass the ball. You're one-on-one, and he's one-on-one against one of their best players.
Second sack of the game for Utah. Daly's 3rd of the season. He had 2 at UCLA, getting Nico Iomaleave a couple of times. That's punted out of bounds. Where are they going to mark it? Let's see where the field judge is going to spot it. Muskogee, Oklahoma. They start in midfield. Their average starting field position for Utah today has been their own 41. Now they're at the 43 of Cal Poly after that run. Kenny Olsen, Austin Wilson, bring down away Sean Parker.
Well, you know, as long as they had them big guys up front in the game, you know, you can put anybody back there, but you're putting a freshman in there, you know, and just give them some reps, you know, give them an opportunity to play before they start Big 12 play.
So we witnessed the collegiate debut. Bird Ficklin, who hands it off, and breaking free. Parker having himself quite a day. 43-yard touchdown run.
Great play, right up the middle. Find a lane between that offensive line. You know, here it is, you know, I mean, it's just a tackle trap. Well, not even a tackle trap. There's actually an offensive lineman they pulled and kicked out on the defensive end. Inside zone. He hits the backside. Pastor bumps his head on the goalpost.
Curtis's extra point. Slices that in the right upright. Makes it 49-6. We'll go to Wyoming next week before they open up conference play against Texas Tech here. September 20. We'll get more into detail about that as we move through this second half. As the big leg of Curtis is fun to watch, man. He had that 54-yard field goal at the end of the first half last week at UCLA. And I think that was kind of the coming out party. Like, oh yeah, he's got the goods.
He's real. You know, it's going to help him a lot especially when they get into Big 12 play. It's going to be a lot of tight games with the Big 12 and all the competitiveness.
Ray Anthony Grigsby back in at quarterback after a couple series for Jonathan Akins. And a handoff, nothing there. A loss of a half-yard. Troy Fletcher, the ball carrier.
You know, it looks like, you know, the Utes defense have brought in a couple, you know, reserves. You know, and this is a time where you get your backup players some time, an opportunity to get in and play, because you don't know when you might need them, you know, later on in the season. And, you know, them getting reps right now during game-type play instead of just being in practice are invaluable.
Grigsby looks left, fires, has his man wide open over there at the 30-yard line. That is Michael Briscoe. And he picks up about 7.
Keep fighting. Mustangs got to keep fighting, you know. Head coach Paul Wolf, you know, he understands, you know, this is big-time football. You know, FBS football is big-time football. And when you're going against teams like this, you got to continue to keep your guys in the game and really make sure they understand that, yeah, hey, it might be bad right now, but when we get to our play and we stood up to a Utah team, it's going to help us, you know, later down in the season.
2-9 on third down, 3rd and 4. Grigsby hit as he throws. It's a jump ball. And we're going to have a flag. The defender didn't turn around. Sullivan was the receiver. He tried to get back to where the football was going to come down and ran into Moroni Anai. That brought out the flag, and that should be a first down for Cal Poly and extend the drive.
There's a flag in the backfield also.
All right, we got 2 to contend with.
Yeah.
That may negate what I just mentioned.
I mean, look at it.
Pass interference, defense, number 21. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down. Also, sideline run, Utah.
There came the heat from Anai. You got a hit on Grigsby. You'll see the adjustment here by Antoine Sullivan. A little tough to tell, but he bumped into Benny. That was enough for that back judge to throw the flag. So 7th penalty for 65 yards now against Utah. That continues to be the one glaring thing you look at on the stat sheet that's a negative for Utah.
And it's something they can talk about, you know, in meetings.
Grigsby again. This time he's going to be sacked and dropped by Paul Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald gets his first sack for the
hustle, finishing plays. You know, beats him on the outside, swats his hands. You can't drop your head when you're a tackle. You drop your head, it gets by you, because when you drop your head, it locks your hips. And then you just open the gate straight to the quarterback when you do that. You got to keep your head back, punch him, get separation. Then you have a fighting chance to stop him from getting to the quarterback.
Loss is 7 on the sack. 2nd and 17 at the 39 for Cal Poly. Empty backfield, Grigsby. 3-step drop. Now he sees an opening. He's going to take off. Comes to the near side to midfield. And is taken down at the 47 of the Utes by Paul Fitzgerald. It's going to leave him only about 3 yards, 3-4 short of the first down.
Yeah, he drags up and, you know, he catches that defense, not looking at him, looking down the field. Then he has enough speed and wherewithal to get up the field, at least to make it 3rd and manageable right now.
3rd and a long 2. That was a 15-yard run for Anthony Grigsby Jr. 4.5 minutes and counting to go here in the 3rd quarter. Grigsby fires, and a clean play there made by Rock Caldwell. He was able to reach around, deflect that pass away.
Ran with him and didn't hit his body, you know, was able to get behind him and knock the ball down in front of him. There it is, get right there. Didn't go over his back.
Fidel Pitts is the intended receiver for Cal Poly. Ehrlich on to punt. Rossi boots it away, end over end. Land at the 4.
Oh, great punt.
And is down there.
Great punt.
Tremendous punt by Ehrlich. 41-yard punt with no return. Well, the Cal Poly football program, great history. John Madden played there.
Mr. Madden.
Oh, yeah, 57, 1958 for the Mustangs.
My hero.
And they are building the John Madden Sports Complex. This is the rendering. They hope to have it finished in the next, I don't know, half year or so. That's the look from the other side that we just showed you there. It backs up to their playing field there, which is Mustang Memorial Field at Spanos Stadium.
That's going to help him in recruiting.
No doubt. Bird Ficklin, his second drive for him, and the lefty throws. It's complete, flag back near the 3, and a hurdle by Rogers. And he's out at the 37, but let's look at the flag behind the play here. And they're walking back that way.
Way to get the ball out of his hands on that play, though.
Yeah, he made a nice adjustment, the lefty thrower. Well,
There is no foul for illegal formation. The result of the play is a first down.
all right. Well, walk back the other way. So the play stands. It was a 32-yard gain. Will go in the books.
I tell you, Rodgers, you know, after he ran the way he ran, he's like, come on now. He gets out there and finishes the play. You know, he's thinking he's about to take it to the house.
And for Ficklin, that's his first pass completion of his collegiate career. So it stands. And now he hands off. This is Johnson, Nate Johnson. As he tried to turn it upfield, Jeremiah Bernard, sophomore safety, was able to bring him down there for Cal Poly.
All these young players for this Utah team are getting great experience right now. You know, it's hard to go out there and practice all the time and you not be able to get in the game. This is an opportunity for them to go out there and really get an opportunity to really play and get these much-needed reps.
Ficklin fires a strike and a first down at the 45 of Cal Poly for Ryan Davis.
Well, okay. Talk about a lefty. I thought he was going down to the tight end. I mean, you know, to the receiver underneath, but he takes it to the next. Andrews. I thought he was going to Andrews. He takes it to the second level guy.
12-yard pickup, first down. Ball spotted at the 46. Go to the Wildcat. Gonna let Johnson run. What a nice open field tackle there. He's pulled down by Kenny Olson.
The team started to sit in a little with that defensive line. You know, you get guys leaning on you who are kind of bigger than you, you know, probably outweigh you by about 40 pounds, 50 pounds. You start getting a little tired, a little winded.
Rashawn Parker is the back. 5 on the play clock. Ficklin fires across the field into Ryan Davis. Stood up at the 38. Pushed out of bounds. Jeremiah Bernard and Buda Boyd there defensively for the Mustangs.
Great play, great tackle. Stuck him and kept him right there until he got help.
Kenny Olson, their linebacker. Great football family. His dad, Greg Olson, has been a defensive coordinator in the NFL for the Rams, the Lions, the Bucks, the Jaguars. Right now, he is the Las Vegas Raiders quarterback coach. Great football family.
Absolutely.
Going to take it himself. Ficklin, one more man to beat. Makes a move. And there goes the freshman with his first collegiate touchdown. 38-yard run for the Okie from Muskogee.
That was amazing. Their best defender, Diamato, is able to shed that tackle. Right here, shed that tackle. That's their number one tackler right there. But then just Debo's the other linebacker and takes it to the house. Great play by the young fella. Freshman what? Confidence level right now is high for the youngster.
Point after, and it is a 50 leg. Only thing he hasn't had is a field goal attempt. He's making a habit, though, of putting the kickoffs beyond the inline of the end zone. He does that again.
That could be a weapon.
Utah has 215 total yards just here in the third quarter. They had 220-something at the half.
Wow. They're impressive. They're definitely impressive. You know, last year they were picked to win it and then fell, Bobber fell out midway through the season. I doubt seriously that happens this year.
Malachi Brown, it is the running back. Grigsby's going to keep it himself. Well, you can get all of the ESPN college football in one place with the all-new ESPN app. You can unlock with the ESPN Unlimited plan, or just log in with your own TV provider. Grigsby 2 of 9 through the air, 21 yards. He has 24 rushing yards. The Cal Poly quarterback. Ty Diefenbach, the starter, went 6 of 9 for 82 with an interception. And has not played in the second half. Grigsby fires and just overshoots his man, Keon Salehi, who had a couple of steps on his defender and was open.
Yeah, he did. Created some separation. You know, and eventually, you know, they had opportunity to, you know, had that hook up again between the both of them. But, you know, Grigsby just a little less on it. That's a big play. Get your guys on your side of the ball amped up a little bit. Get these chains moving. Finally get out of their side of the 50. They've got to do it this drive.
2 of 10 on third down. Face a 3rd and 8. On their own 27. 4 receivers, 3 near side as Grigsby looks towards the left side and completes the pass right near the sticks.
Way to sit in the pocket.
But they did not take the foot off the gas in the third quarter.
Yeah, you know, I mean, for them to score 21 points in the third quarter and all the yardage just shows how deep they are.
We start the fourth quarter, and Malachi Brown, a redshirt freshman for Cal Poly, picks up his first carry. Brock Fanamoyana making the tackle for Utah, a true freshman.
Now they have to keep going. You know, this team has to get better, especially going into the next couple games. They understand that, you know, of course, you know, this is a good team they're playing against. But like they're slated to what, mid of the pack in their conference.
Yeah, Big Sky. Grigsby flushed out, fires, a little underthrow, but a great adjustment made, and the reception made. Brown out of the backfield, 27 yards.
Great play, you know, Malachi Brown runs the wheel route, gets in the outside against a linebacker. He's faster than, gets down the field, but then, you know, Grigsby has enough faith in his arm to push the ball down the field with that defender trailing. And then Brown just goes up, twists his body, and makes a great play and high points it.
Mustangs with a first down at the Utes 30-yard line. Grigsby looking to throw again on first down. It is going to be brought down. He's able to get basically back to the line of scrimmage, so it will not be a sack, I don't think, for Carson Kafusi.
Yeah, nobody was open on the play, so I understand why he pulled it down, but I think I wouldn't have ran in there. I would have tried to, you know, at least get outside the pocket, see if I can get somebody on a comeback or something like that.
Grigsby looking towards the sideline now. Apparently has the play call he needs. Play clock's at 8. Grigsby immediately looking left, fires to the sideline, and the catch and stepping out of bounds there.
Briscoe with a great out. He threw it right on, and, you know, Grigsby threw a great out, and then you got Briscoe. He ran a great out.
Now Zimmerman, Brady there to make that play for Cal Poly.
It's good they're on that side of the line, the 50.
Looking at a 3rd down and 4 from the 24 of Utah. Play clock's down to 3. Get it off just in time. Grigsby running. He's going to be stopped. 3 Utes tacklers. He only gets a yard, needed 4. Paul Fitzgerald. Fanamoyana was another one. Brock Fanamoyana.
Yeah, Coach Wolf has to keep him on the field. You know, at least competing. 4th and 3. Give Grigsby at least an opportunity to try to make something happen.
First 4th down attempt of the game for Cal Poly. And the flags come out as the plays commenced.
False start, offense, number 66. 5-yard penalty is 4th down.
Well, the left guard, Kamani Fafita, called for moving early in the 4th and 3, turns to 4th and 8.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of people that jumped outside that play. I think it was more so the center.
Matthew Mena was there. They all kind of moved.
Yeah.
They had a different count in mind.
That's the center. The center's got to snap the ball. Everybody else is moving, and he doesn't move the ball.
Got a player coming on late for Utah as the field goal attempt is going to come from 46 yards off the left hash for Noah Cerna. They give them time to substitute. There's the snap. It's away. It is into the net. Good. No good. Pardon me. But we have a flag down.
$12 men on the field, but they have to give him an opportunity once they
sub. Yeah, they obviously sub to kick a field goal.
Yep, and they sub late.
So our officiating crew, led by Lyndon Nixon, talks this over.
The defense has an opportunity to match up, delay a game, offense, 5-yard penalty, it's 4th down.
Well, for Cal Poly, it's a benefit because they missed the field goal, so they're going to get a chance from 5 further yards back. So now it's looking at a 51-yard attempt for Noah Cerna. Is it going to be long enough? It's wide. Oh, he got it.
There you go.
Didn't think that was going to get over the cross. Hit and was ruled ineligible to play by the team physician because of a concussion.
Wow.
It did not make the trip to the Bowling Green game. So he was not on that flight. But had he not been ruled out, his father, Kyle's dad, Fred, would have been on that flight. Again, there were survivors.
That's a that's a terrible experience, but to sit down and talk to him when we had that opportunity. I mean, you could still feel the 6 degrees of separation on what he was thinking about that when we talked about it in our meeting.
Yeah, it's something as a family I'm sure you don't want to dwell on, but you think about the what ifs.
Yes.
And count your blessings. That's for sure. We're happy that Coach Whittingham shared that story with us. And Bryce Duke here is pushing forward to the 31.
He still has a lot of ties there, and in talking and speaking to him, he said it, I mean, I still have some roots there, and I still think about that at times.
Now, he was only a couple of years old when they moved. He says, I have some very faint memories of my early years being in San Luis Obispo. Not many, because he was so young. Ficklin running ahead here to the 36-yard line. Now, it was well known for many years. The reason John Madden had the Madden Cruiser, it basically drove everywhere on his assignments for calling NFL games, was because he was afraid to fly.
Yes.
He wasn't on that plane. He did play for Cal Poly a couple of years prior to that, but he knew many people who were on the plane, some who did not survive. And that's why John Madden was reluctant to fly and had the Madden Cruiser for all those years because of his ties to Cal Poly, that team, and that tragedy.
He was a great guy too, and I had an opportunity to be on that bus a couple of times, and I really respected him. I mean, he was a great guy. I remember I rode up the elevator with him, and I was surprised he even knew my name, and knew things about me.
He did his homework, man.
Oh, absolutely. And that's why I try to do the same thing as far as making sure I know what's going on the field and how to call it, and making sure I'm being as accurate as I can and painting a picture for the audience.
Ficklin stopped about a yard short of the line to gain. Let me ask you this. So was this after a Steeler game, or where were you?
Actually, I was playing with the Eagles.
Okay, with
Philadelphia.
Philadelphia.
And it was young in my career, too. It was young in my career. And I'm riding up. He's going to the press box, and I jumped on the elevator because I had to go up to the coach's box. And I rode up there with him.
Going forward on 3rd and 1, and we'll have the first down. How did you get to the man cruiser? That's where I'm getting to. How did you get on the bus?
Well, this is after I, first started, calling football games, and this is actually I was a producer inside the truck.
Ah, I got you.
And I went in, and Matt Millen said, "Hey, come on, man, I'm gonna, take you on experience." And I went in and saw that, and the cruiser was amazing. I wanted to live in the cruiser. In fact, his cruiser probably cost more than my house. But it was beautiful, how he had it arranged. You could tell it was his.
Defense, more than 11 players on the field at the snap. 5-yard penalty results in the first down. Please reset the game clock to 9:08.
And an extra guy on the field, the Mustangs.
The penalty is declined.
So Matt Millen got you on the Madden Cruiser. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't have enough juice for that, I didn't think so. But, I mean, he knew who I was, we talked for a long time. And just to sit down, man, he lost more than I know as far as football. He's the reason why we have so many colorful adjectives and everything else about football,
No question.
3 yards in a cloud of dust, just him just saying things that, that you can really accurately give the audience exactly what you're seeing.
First down from the 47. Ficklin hands off. Bryce Duke gets another carry. I'll say this one last thing about John Madden. Broadcasters really make no difference as to whether people watch a game.
Right, exactly.
Normally, the only exception that affected ratings was John Madden. People would tune in to listen and watch John Madden. No other announcer, I don't think, can really ever say that.
He's the reason why I want to be able to draw on paper and break down plays. He was the master of breaking down plays and then put it into layman's terms. He wanted to make sure your grandmother understood what he was saying about football. And that's why I've been trying to, call games.
There's a handoff. Nope, he kept it. Nate Johnson stopped right in midfield. So he never played in the NFL, John Madden, and the reason why was he got drafted out of Cal Poly.
Yep.
Was in Philadelphia Eagles camp.
The Eagles, yes.
And hurt his knee, and it forced him to end his playing career. But that got him into coaching.
And the reason why he was as good as he was is because while he was rehabbing his knee in Philadelphia, he engrossed himself into watching film. He watched tons of film, and that's how he started it.
Third down play coming up. This is a run by Johnson, and he'll have the first down the sideline, pushed down inside the 35 by Brian Dukes. I'll add one last thing since you're an Eagles guy. I heard John Madden say one time in an interview, it was the Eagles quarterback at that time, Norm Van Brocklin,
yes,
who watched a lot of film and was one of the first, and that's where John Madden picked it up by watching the then Eagles quarterback, Norm Van Brocklin.
Yes, yes, yes. And that's where that's why you have to watch film in order to see and evaluate what's going on. I can tell you it's cover 2, but who really knows what cover 2 is? People want to sit at the local watering hole and say, hey, this is what's going on out there.
Another first down for the Utes and a handoff. Bryce Duke. Bryce Duke, who played a couple seasons at Virginia Tech, last year at Old Dominion. He's getting the number of carries here in the fourth quarter. Going to get a little rest now.
Finklin's playing, man. He's executing his offense. Beck is really, he really has, to give this guy some praise because he's running his offense effectively, efficiently. He's making the right reads. He's getting guys lined up where they're supposed to be. These are all things in your maturation to becoming a good quarterback.
Hand off.
And this is smash mouth football. This is nothing but inside zone. Although the zone play is going to the left, you get the cutback from the backside because the double team that they're having on the backside is driving those guys down, and it's creating a natural hole because, number one, that tight end is crossing the formation and kicking out the end, which gives you a natural hole to cut it back. And they're gaining some yards from that. Now it's third and manageable.
Mason Guillory is the one that's getting some opportunity here on offense for the Utes. We're 0 on the offensive side. Duke comes back in. With the play off, Ficklin gets tripped up. He needed about another half step, and he might have been going to the house there. He will have a first down right about the 20-yard line.
This is just not fair. Number 99. If I see this play over again, you watch number 99 just totally flat back a linebacker. Either the linebacker or safety. He just decleats him. It's just not fair that he's out there. He's just too big to be out there hitting those little guys like that. Plus, he's a defensive guy, too. He's a road grader out there.
Utah 9 of 13 on third down today. They're going 14 of 17 on third down last week at UCLA. Going to keep it. Johnson. And Johnson powers ahead. They're going to mark him just short of the marker, so he gains 9 yards.
A little misdirection. You fake this jet sweep. Keep it. Allow your blockers to pull in front of you. That tight end to get up into the block. Get the linebacker, just run in behind him. A little misdirection play.
Clock running, 4 minutes to go, fourth quarter. So you see the total yards for Utah now up over 500.
It's a great day at the office if you're a Utes fan.
Johnson again triggers it. Probes left, gets the first down and more up to the 5. First and goal, Utah.
Yeah, and you know, Mark, this is just a war of attrition. You know, those guys out there fighting, that defense is fighting their butts off, you know, but you're talking about some bigger, stronger guys with the Utes offensive line. They're trying to get penetration. They're trying to get up the field, force the comeback. But they're able to get to the outside with the blocking of the tight ends and those offensive linemen.
First and goal from the 5. The clock continues to be eaten. They get the play clock under 5 where they trigger it once again. They're adamant about getting Nate Johnson into the end zone, and it was a shoving match there, and he stopped at about the 2.
And, you know, we've been talking about the Utes, but I'm also, you know, with the Mustang defense, those are, you know, the reserve guys also. Those are second team guys, guys that, you know, don't usually get to play, but now they're also getting invaluable playing time. You know, seeing what it is to play big time football, and, you know, they're still fighting. They're still fighting, and that's all you can ask. You know, when they sit down and watch film, they're going to ask, all right, what was your effort? You know, did you do the assignment the way it was supposed to be done? Did you hit your gap? Did you make sure you did everything you could do to try to stop the play? A lot of coaching going to be done this week.
Johnson comes in motion. Ficklin will keep it himself, and he will hop into the end zone. Second touchdown for the true freshman, Bird Ficklin.
Yeah, Evan Culver got caught peeking in that backfield. His responsibility is to stay outside. You're the outside defender. Can't allow yourself to get sucked in, and he got sucked in and blocked, and he didn't really need to get blocked well. Just put an arm on him, and, you know, he's too fast to get to the outside. Scored a touchdown.
Curtis makes it 63-9. First time to 60-plus points for Utah since.
His eyes sparkled up, you know. My apologies for making, you know, that, you know, the meeting like 10, 15 more minutes.
It went off the crossbar, didn't it?
Wow.
That kickoff. You tell me the kid doesn't have a leg? Hey, Coach Whittingham, you're right. He's going to hit from 70 at some point in his career.
Right.
But yeah, I think it's the way you got him talking about riding motorcycles. And motorcycles sounds like, I could tell football's his main passion, but like motorcycles might be right behind that.
Absolutely. He said he had the Ducati, you know, and he really talked me into getting an Indian. You know, I'm kind of big. I'm 6'5.5", you know, 325 pounds. And I'm like, I can't fit on an Indian. But once I saw the Indian they just rode in on the beginning of the game, I might be able to fit one.
Fired to the near side at the 28-yard line. Quickly wrapped up is Cal Zimmerman. One drive of the second half. They pulled him out after that. He went 17 of 23 today, 192 yards, 3 TDs, no picks.
Great day at the office.
As we slip under 2 minutes, and a first down carry, Trey Wilson. Here's Coach Beck. He was the first of the, shall we say, 4 dominoes to come from Albuquerque, New Mexico, and the University of New Mexico. He was hired. Bronco Mendenhall, of course, was the head coach there at New Mexico last year. He wound up leaving as well. That got the job here, and then that brought the 3 players. One of them obviously being Devin Dampier.
I think it worked out.
Nakari Rogers and Ryan Davis. You know, I mentioned to Jason Beck, I said, you know, the guy who got the head coaching job at New Mexico after Bronco and you left is Jason Eck. And I said, and Jason Beck kind of said funny, he said, yeah, I kind of thought maybe I actually, when I heard that, that I got the job and I didn't even really know I was up for it. But Jason Eck, who was the head coach, I believe, at Idaho, now the head coach at New Mexico. Grigsby underthrows it. It skips in incomplete.
Good decision. You know, nobody was open. He's running out. He really couldn't throw a catchable ball going out, you know, speeding to the sideline because nobody was open. So, way to throw it away. Good decision.
Well, for Utah, most points they've scored in a while. 63-21. They beat Colorado in 2022. That was the last time they had scored 60 or more points. And most likely they're going to finish at 63 here today as we're under a minute to go. The Utes go to Laramie next weekend, play at Wyoming. Kick up the elevation even more. The elevation here is like 4,700 feet. It's add a few thousand feet to that in Laramie. In fact, I think that's the highest elevation of anywhere in college football. It's over, I want to say 7,000. Something crazy like that. It's up there.
I've never called a game. I never played there, but you know, I played against a team back in my college days. We played in the Copper Bowl together.
Yeah. $72.20 is the elevation at the football field there at Laramie. I've had a number of games there, and they have that on the sideline. It's in the turf. They want the opponents to know that.
Utah ball, first down.
You know, the best.
So they turn it over on downs, and Utah can finish the clock here with the last 10 seconds.
Absolutely. The best shape I was ever in is when I went to camp with the Denver Broncos.
Oh, the elevation will do that to you, man.
And I was, you know, we went down and played in Tampa Bay. And then I was in, you know, I didn't get tired at all, you know. So, I mean, you train up there. That's why, you know, Olympians go up there to train. It's definitely a difference.
Next time Utah comes home, it'll be the conference opener against Texas Tech, Saturday, September 20th. It'll be the first time they've played them since 1973, and Tech is loaded. That's going to be a good matchup right out of the chute to get conference play started in a couple of weeks. Kyle Whittingham's team improves to 2-0 with a 63-9 win over Cal Poly.
2 impressive wins. 2 very impressive wins.